Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. Today I want to talk to you guys about a short story that runs parallel to the events of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. There will be spoilers from the Battlefront II single-player DLC Resurrection. The story we're going to tell you guys today is very classic Star Wars. It's about a few courageous fighters stealing some plans for a giant scary ship and delivering them to the right people so that they can blow it up. We link up with Shriv, Iden, and her daughter Zay, the remnant of Inferno Squad. They're trying to uncover a plan that's being carried out by the First Order called Operation Resurrection. It turns out that Jedi Securities, a local defense company from the former Imperial world of Vardos, was running around and kidnapping families and children for the First Order. This operation was led by an oculist named Gleb. During the time of the Empire, she headed the future Imperial leaders' preparatory military school on Vardos. Soon, Iden's ship, the Corvus, runs into a Jedi Security Nebulon B frigate and a few carriers and a squadron of Clone Wars-era starfighters. The Corvus and her crew manages to destroy the escorts and force the Jedi Security crew to surrender. They informed her that Gleb had established Jedi Security's headquarters back on Vardos, which is surprising because Iden's father had destroyed the planet during Operation Cinder with weather satellites. Iden arrives on Vardos and witnesses the destruction of Hosnian Prime far in the distance. Shortly after, they run into Gleb, who's lying dead on the ground. She had been killed by Gideon Hask, a former member of Inferno Squad when it was still a part of the Empire. Hask had been a First Order officer and was tasked with destroying Jedi Securities now that they were no longer needed to kidnap children and families to work for the First Order. Hask captures Iden and Shriv and orders his Star Destroyer to shoot down the Corvus with Iden's daughter Zay on board. Before Hask has a chance to interrogate Iden, Jedi Security forces begin an uprising, and in the ensuing confusion, Iden and Shriv escape and attempt to find the escape pods from the Corvus. The two link up with Zay and fly off in stolen TIE fighters and board Hask's Star Destroyer. While on board, they connect to the First Order mainframe and find out several alarming things. The First Order had been extremely successful at kidnapping people and turning them into soldiers, and now they had an army of stormtroopers much larger than anyone could have ever expected. They also find out that the First Order has enough ships to take over the entire galaxy. Lastly, they find the schematics for a dreadnought, one of the largest capital ships in the First Order Navy. Iden has her droid download the schematic for the ship. Their new mission is now to make sure Princess Leia and the Resistance receive this information so that they can use it to fight the First Order. On their way to destroy the hyperdrive of the Star Destroyer so they can escape, Iden and Zay run into Gideon Hask. They manage to defeat him, but Iden is mortally wounded. Leaving her mother behind, Zay and Shriv escape the Star Destroyer, which had been pulled out of hyperspace near Starkiller Base just as it was about to explode. Shriv and Zay arrive on Dakar and find that the Resistance was preparing to evacuate. They knew that the First Order was coming to destroy their base. Zay gives Princess Leia the schematics for the dreadnought and she passes them on to Poe Dameron for inspection. Princess Leia gives Zay one last mission to go to the Outer Rim and connect with one of her old allies. And that's where the DLC for this game ends and sets us up for The Last Jedi. It should be interesting to see if the Resistance actually uses the schematics provided by Zay to take down a First Order dreadnought. I was also really surprised by the size of the First Order. With Hosnian Prime now destroyed, the New Republic is definitely at a significant military disadvantage. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed The Last Jedi when it comes out in theaters. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification button, and like us on Facebook so you don't miss any of our uploads about The Last Jedi. Well, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.